All right, so we're at Philadelphia 30th Street Station, and the day's off to a great start because my train is 25 minutes late. But thankfully, that shouldn't be a problem as long as it doesn't get any later. The point of today is actually not to take trains. We're actually headed out to Exton, so I'm waiting on the Keystone service. And that's because it's the starting point for a very complicated day-long itinerary of riding buses.
A little later.
Lancaster and Harrisburg.
The train was supposed to leave at 8:56, but it is now 9:21.
Ticket, please.
Yeah, we are now en route to Exton, and assuming we stay on time, I'm gonna have like a 5-minute transfer to a bus in order to reach the starting point of this whole thing. So let's hope that works out. All right, we made it to Exton. How much time do I actually have to get down to the bus stop? Probably not much, probably a minute or two. We ended up being a tiny bit later than originally anticipated, so I gotta move here a bit. I'm tracking the bus live. It's not here yet, as of 21 seconds ago. Did not expect it to be this tight, but it is. I have to figure out where exactly I'm going. I think I'm going over that way. It's not a stroad, it's more of a highway. But there's the bus stop. At least I see the sign, which is good. I think I made it. Oh, and there's the shelter. Apparently I'm just blind and can't see that. All right. Yeah, it's just up the road. I expected to have like a 25-minute transfer or something, and it's down to the wire, but we made it. The bus is not here yet. We will make it. So that's good. I didn't expect the day to get off to a start like this, but you know, thanks Amtrak. And so I guess I should mention what I'm doing today. So I'm going to be riding as many bus routes as possible, as close to back as possible, which is not always possible. I'm going to have to make some additional connections, but I'm going to try to ride as many as possible of the bus routes that are currently slated for immediate elimination if Septa doesn't get their money that they're asking for this year in this year's budget crisis. Yeah, if they don't give us an extra $200 million, they're going to cut some routes like effective August. And so I'm going to be riding as many of those as possible today. They're going to cut way more than I'm going to ride, but I'm going to try to ride quite a few. And so today's just going to be riding those buses, and one of the ones on the chopping block is 204. So I'm going to wander around a little bit because I got half an hour, and then I'll see you back at when I board the bus.
A little later.
Here it is.
Welcome to Route 204. 8-cash fare, $40 per instrument is required.
What's funny is that this is just going to take us back to Paoli Station, almost a straight shot. We had to pass through Paoli to get here, and we're just going to go right back.
204.
Now it's time to wait for my next bus. So I might just take some shelter in the station itself, just for the moment. The bus stop that I have to go to catch the 106, which is also on the chopping block, that is actually on the main road. Now the main road is right there. It's not a big deal, but yeah, I do have to actually go down to the main road, cross the street, and catch the 106 over there in about 40 minutes. So yeah, the bus doesn't actually come into the station, but close enough. Yeah, I changed my mind about what I'm going to do actually. I'm going to go to that Wawa over there and possibly get some food. It'll be a good chance to preemptively use the bathroom, all that wonderful stuff. And it'll put me on the correct side of the street to catch my bus.
A little later.
Alright, well, just chilling on some benches for the next 6 or so minutes. This is like the 4th stop of the bus, so it's probably going to be here pretty much exactly on time. The bus stop is like diagonally across the street, I think, although that stop, there's a sign, but it's not in the GTFS data, which is weird. So I'm going to go to a stop that is in the GTFS data just to make sure. So I'm going to go like a block up probably. I don't want to miss this bus. But anyway, so yeah, we're going to get the 106 to 69th Street in a few minutes here. I got my fill of Wawa. Got a drink. Got mac and cheese. I got a bread roll. Just simple stuff. Used the bathroom, took care of that. I think we're good to go for the next couple of legs of this trip. Alright, just a nice quick walk up the block. Here comes the bus. Alright, now this bus route basically just parallels the Paoli-Thorndale line for most of the way. Kind of just functions almost as like either a local service or a connecting service. And yeah, this route's actually pretty important, I would think. Definitely better used than the last one. So yeah, it's definitely not going to be great if this one is cut. This is going to be a long bus. It's going to take an hour or so. So we're going to be here for a bit. I'll try not to bog the video down with too much extraneous B-roll. You can tell we're passing through somewhere wealthy because then you start to see benches and much nicer situations for some of the bus stops. But I must concede, going in a straight line for an hour is not the most interesting. We're getting awfully close to 69th Street. However, this bus is running a little behind schedule. I'm still going to make my next bus, but it's going to be tighter than I thought. I thought I was going to have like 15 minutes, instead I'm going to have like 6. The schedule has a lot of padding in it, so in general, the bus is running late. It's not going to be a problem, I hope. Okay, apparently bus 30 also leaves from this terminal, so I guess I'm in the right place already and they don't have to go anywhere. And yeah, there's a nice sign that says 30 on it, so yeah, I'm in the right spot. So actually, funny thing is, I think my tightest connection of the day is going to be next. I'm going to be trying to execute like a 4-minute transfer between the 30 and the 31. Because both are on the chopping block and I want to ride them both. I don't have to ride the 31. Like, if I miss the connection, it's okay. It doesn't ruin everything, but I would like to make the connection just so I can get that one extra route in. But it's like a 4-minute connection, which is going to be tough. So I'm hoping that it works out. Oh, there it is. That's bus 30 right there. I guess we gotta wait a quick second while the driver goes in and does something. I don't know if using the bathroom or something. I don't know, probably.
$8 fare instrument is required.
Step one of the plan was hope we get out of here on time, which mostly. We're like 1 minute late. That should be fine. Well, the bus that I want to catch is currently showing as being 12 minutes early. So I don't know if it's got like a time point that it's got to stop and wait at. I mean, if it doesn't, then that's that. I mean, we're not making that. But I guess I'll just keep an eye on it and see if that's going to be the case. I mean, it's fine. This bus just goes directly to 30th Street Station. And from there we can obviously just continue the run, but minus one route, so that's okay. Oh, never mind. Well, the bus is just early, I guess, and so we're not going to make that transfer. Let me just quickly check what the schedule looks like. Maybe I can wait for the next one? I'm not sure if I can do that, though. Alright, I've scoped out the situation. It looks like if I wait for the next bus, 31, I run a very strong risk of upsetting the rest of my itinerary completely. So I can't do that. So, oh well, the 31 running 12 minutes early, not much you can do about that. So I'm just going to be riding the 30 a little longer, probably all the way to 30th Street, although I could probably get off sooner if I want to. And we'll take it from there. So that's a little unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, things like that happen when you're dealing with buses, right? Well, right here, this is 46th and Haverford, where I was going to transfer. But, I mean, I just double checked and like, okay, maybe I could make it, but I don't feel like chancing that. I do not want to chance my connection onto my next bus, which is going to be the 12. That's also getting cut. Passing through the heart of University City. So yeah, I think this bus is kind of important. And it would be a shame if they got rid of it. Since the next vehicle I was going to ride was going to be one of the trolleys, we could have stopped here, but I have a little bit of time to kill because we missed the 31, so. Now that said, I am having to do some planning on the fly here because it looks like some of the trips that I was going to take on a bus later have also been canceled. So I have to rearrange my schedule to make that work. So I'm just kind of planning that out right now, how I'm going to exactly handle that. That's going to be 2 buses from now. So I'll talk about it when we get there. But yeah, I'm going to have to reshuffle some stuff.
Stop requested.
I got a little paranoid because the bus was running 7 minutes late, so I decided to get off at 33rd instead of 30th, just to save a tiny bit of time. So yeah, we're at 33rd Street Trolley Station. So yeah, we're looking for either a T4 or a T5 here. It is kind of interesting how this station doesn't have fare gates. I guess you just tap on here, but a lot of the trolley stations do have fare gates, and so you don't tap. But anyways, I guess now I just have to take a look. When's the next T4 or T5 coming? Either one of those will get me to either 50th and Woodland or 49th and Woodland. I have about half an hour, so I'm not super worried about this, but that's where I'm going to catch the 12. wonder if any of these buses. Oh, that's going to be 12. There we go. Figured that out right as I asked the question, which is awesome.
Welcome to Route 12. Next passenger.
Well, I guess they're letting us on. I'm not sure if they're going to leave early or what. I hope they don't leave early. That'd be very weird and not great. But we did make it onto the 12, which is good. That's what we were hoping for. It was tighter than I wanted, but we got it. Okay. We might be leaving. That's very strange. Or are we? Yeah, we're leaving. Damn, that was close. The bus driver's leaving early. What's up with that? Alright, so we're now running along Locust Street. I guess I can start telling you a little bit about what the next bus is going to be. Initially, the plan was that I'd get off at Broad, and then I would take the subway down a few stops, and then catch a northbound 47M, which is basically just a duplicate version of the 47 that doesn't go as far north, and its northbound trip occurs on 9th Street instead of 7th Street. But it goes south on 8th Street, just like the regular 47. But the northbound trip that I needed was canceled. So what I need to do is take it southbound instead, and so basically it's going to be indistinguishable from a 47, which is unfortunate, but I am going to make sure that I'm on a 47M proper. Editor Arya here. So as it turns out, I was slightly wrong about this. It's really the case that all southbound trips are called 47, and they all originate at 5th and Godfrey. The only difference is that some of them turn around and become 47 again, while others become 47M, and they terminate at Spring Garden Street. So I was kind of wrong about this, so the bus I'm going to be getting on literally says 47 on it, because even though GTFS data calls it 47M, and my transit app also called it 47M, it's really just the 47 according to official Septa schedules. But in the spirit of the speed run, I'm going to say that I really rode the 47M, even though I technically didn't. Sorry about that.
Locust and 13.
The bus should be here in 11 minutes, supposedly, so... And I guess, honestly, I'll just ride it as far south as I can. I'll make sure that I'm watching where the nearest northbound 47 is, so I don't miss that. But I might be able to go further than Tasker Street, which was what I was originally thinking about stopping at, but if I can go further, I'm going to try it. But, you know, I don't want to be too risky here, because I do have to catch a bus that only has a very, very, very limited number of runs per day after this, and so I don't want to not be there for that.
Welcome to Route 47 now.
So yeah, I'm just carefully keeping an eye on the time. So there's a lot of detours in effect for the southbound trip here. Yeah, we're not going to be traveling along 8th Street for quite a bit of this. But yeah, I think the northbound trips are not diverted at all, so we'll definitely have to get over to 7th for that. But yeah, the southbound trips are detour. Wow, we're really going way out of the way. This is 4th Street. That's crazy. I didn't expect to see that out the window. Okay, the good thing is that it's not holding up traffic for us. So that's good. We're still fine. We're still moving. I was wondering if I'd have to get off the bus and walk, but nope, we're good. This is kind of weird. I don't get this. I'm not sure why we didn't turn on to Snyder. It's kind of strange. So, I don't know what's going on exactly, so I pulled the cord. I'm gonna get off. I don't know if they're going to let me off. Well, I don't like that. This is not the listed detour. Like, guess maybe we'll still intersect the 47. I don't know. Actually, I think we can. Well, we ended up going all the way down anyway. I didn't mean to. And this might be a problem. I guess I just didn't realize that I actually did have enough time to go all the way, huh? Because the next trip's actually going to get me in about 10 minutes before the bus leaves. So I think I'm actually fine somehow.
Welcome to Route 47.
All right, well, we messed up, but I think we're fine. We should still get there in time. Okay, back at Market Street. 8th Street is just over there. And my bus leaves from 8th and Market in about 10 minutes. So, I'll just take a stroll over there. This is the origination stop for bus 62, which only runs 4 times a day in each direction, as far as I remember from looking at this when I was putting this together. In fact, now since it's the afternoon, there are only outbound trips. There are no inbound trips at this time. So we're actually catching the first outbound trip of the day. We're going to catch that, and we're going to ride this to Wissahickon Transportation Center, and then we'll take it from there. But I'm wondering if that bus there that just says Septa on it right now is going to turn into ours or not. All right, awesome. That is the 62 to Andorra. Here it comes. Very good. Oh, is that not working? The fare box is busted, so this trip was free. Yay, I guess. I mean, Septa needs money, but oh well. Interesting note is that there is a bus route that kind of just circles around Manayunk that is also getting cut, which is really unfortunate. I wanted to try to ride it, but the schedules just do not line up for that, and I can't do it. I would have really liked to ride that circulator around Manayunk, but unfortunately that was not possible to fit into today's itinerary. But yes, Manayunk will be left without a key circulating bus as well, which is obviously very bad. So the point is just to kind of just show how intertwined all the routes that are going to have to be cut are with the current system and how important they are. Sort of just kind of give a sampling of what we're going to lose if y'all don't get your act together and give Septa money. I love being stuck in traffic. It's so relaxing. I just have to wait for this light to turn, and then I can cross the street. And then and then I can catch bus 1. Alright, so apparently bus 1 is due in 19 minutes. And bus 1 is actually, it is a direct line to, Parx Casino, but while we're still going to be going there, I'm going to be getting off and then doing some intermediate trips, because there's a bunch of other routes in Northeast Philly that are going away too. I want to ride all those, and so I'm going to kind of just do some zigzagging back and forth on a bunch of different routes on my way to Parx. So we're not going direct there. Alright, bus 1 is pretty close at this point, about 2 minutes. So Yeah, that's going to be another long one. It's going to be almost 1 hour on that bus, although if I rode it from end to end, it would be even longer than that, but I'm not. I'm getting off kind of early, but it's going to be like 55 minutes or so. And well, the other cool thing is that as I was standing here, ran into some sort of, petitioners who are trying to, raise awareness about the Septa funding cuts, which is super cool. They tried to hand me a flyer, and I was like, hey, I already know about this. I'm making a video about it right now. But anyway, I did get a flyer, though, and yeah, definitely, check it out. I'll try to put a QR on the screen that you might be able to scan or something. That'll help you figure out how to contact your reps or something like that. Because obviously the big problem is that the budget deadline is coming up fast. Just like 2 weeks or so left for this to be fixed, and so we gotta really get this fixed up here, where there are going to be major service cuts, and that's going to be bad. So, anyways. Anyway, let's settle in. We got 55 minutes. And that's if the bus is on time. Could easily be longer. Look at that nice highway median right there, just begging to have a subway dug under it.
A little later.
Oh, we're almost to our stop, and it's a good thing that I planned this out with buffer, because I'm only going to have a 6-minute transfer somehow. I thought this was going to be 15 to 20 minutes. Yet again, buses run late, things run slow, and things just happen later than anticipated. But that's just how it goes. We're still fine. We should still make it. We're fine. All right, there that goes. Now I just have to work my way sort of around this roundabout here and meet up with my next bus, which is the 19. Yet again, the 19 is another bus that is disappearing. All right, I have to figure out where this bus stop is. Is it over this way? Oh, I'm stupid. It's not over here. Okay, backtrack. I just completely walked past the street because I misread the map and thought I had to go somewhere else. Okay, let's back it up. Yeah, I think the actual stop is over there. Alright, so after this bus, which is the 19, I'm going to be getting off at a stop that it shares with the 88. And I'm going to be taking the 88 back down towards Frankfurt Transit Center. Again, that's another route that is getting completely cut. Funding doesn't come through. And basically what this whole thing is going to accomplish is basically make a big loop from roughly around Frankfurt TC, and the stop that I came from was only like 5 blocks away or something like that. I mean, it's not that far. So going from there, looping up to the Northeast Philadelphia Airport, and then kind of looping back down. That's the plan. Take this, 88, go back to Frankfurt TC. It should be noted that there's actually a ton of routes. A lot of them are really concentrated in Northeast Philly like this. There's a ton of routes around here. There's like some school shuttles, and there's even just some other stuff that just didn't fit into my itinerary today. Quite a few routes around here that I wasn't able to ride, that are short or twisty or maybe isolated from the other routes that are being cut, that I just couldn't ride. And there's a lot of cuts being made up here. This region is really going to pay the price for the cuts, and that's really not great. Like, I think probably close to half the routes that are being cut are routes either within or originating in are going to Northeast Philly. Like, it's not good. So yeah, definitely really don't want to see these routes cut. This is the Northeast Philadelphia Airport. Can't really see it that well, especially now that the hill's in the way, but this is the plot of land that it is on. This is apparently roughly where I will be connecting to 88. Is that the stop right there? It certainly looks like it. Yeah, this is where it'll be. That's bus 88. There's my stop. And now I just figure out what to do, because we were pretty much on time, so I'm going to be waiting for a tiny bit here. And yeah, this is definitely one of the more uncomfortable waits, because not only is it actually the full anticipated length, but yeah, I mean, it's just kind of on a road at a gas station, a Dunkin' Donuts branded gas station, which I've never seen before, but I guess that's a thing. Well, at the very least, it doesn't seem like this gas station is currently in use, because all of the pump handles have bags on them. So I have no idea exactly what's going on with this place. The Dunkin's not open either. Oh, there's also a bench here. I almost didn't notice that initially. Well, I ended up using up my soda. So you know what I'm going to do? There's a convenience store over there. I might try to pop in.
A little later.
Ah, the convenience store turned out to more be like a tobacco shop with a side of convenience store. But, you know, they had a soda, so I got it. I guess that's good enough. Might as well sit down on this nice bench they've got here for me. Oh, bother. The stupid truck. Spotted in the wild. I will say it's interesting how I have this bus to myself right now. It's probably going to fill up a little later, because I mean the bus did just start its route. But you know, we'll see. I mean, in large part I can see some of the rationale for the routes that they're thinking about cutting. It's routes that tend to have lower ridership, you know, tend to have more of a niche service pattern or audience, but yeah, it's still going to be a shame if these routes get cut. So yeah, now we're just going to circle back to Frankfurt Transportation Center, or Transit Center, because they're doing this new thing where they're reducing character count on their signs, and so they're renaming every transportation center to Transit Center. That is a new initiative. But anyways, once we get to Frankfurt TC, what we're going to do is we're going to have a little layover. We're going to have a layover of about 15 minutes, assuming that we stay on time. And then we're going to catch bus 50 up to Parx Casino. Now, it is important to note that another route that's getting eliminated in August, if the funding doesn't pass, is the Roosevelt Boulevard Direct Express bus that goes to Neshaminy Mall. I wanted to work that into the schedule, but I wasn't really able to do that, so... But it is important to note that that's getting removed too, and that's a real shame because that really accelerates travel along Roosevelt Boulevard, and that's a big deal. So, yeah, having to rely on the local slow bus for everything is not ideal. We've made it to Frankfurt Transit Center. And right on time, actually. So, very cool. Got about 15 minutes or so I'm not sure when the bus is going to show up or where. I'm going to have to look around a bit for it, which is good because I have time to look around for it. This is 50 right here. Okay, I don't have to go anywhere. So 50 is right here. Very cool. Just didn't see it because it was behind me. Well, this route's going to be another doozy. Almost another 1 hour. Now that said, we are taking a very indirect route. It doesn't really follow Roosevelt Boulevard all the way up like it could. There's definitely faster ways to get to Parx from here, but we're riding buses that are going to be eliminated, and I thought that riding 50 would be more interesting than, say, taking the Boulevard Direct and then something else. So, yep, that's what we're doing. This bus is a little late, but started to get a little worried for a second, but we're good.
Parx Casino, via Philadelphia Mills, Route 50. No extra stop.
So the deal with this bus is that it functions as sort of an express service for a couple of stops along Roosevelt Boulevard. Then it gets off, meanders around, goes to Philadelphia Mills Mall. We're actually going to traverse a stretch of road that we already traversed on the 19th, funny enough. You get a new angle on the airport here. You can actually see it better this time because we're actually going at it from the side. This is Philadelphia Mills, or Franklin Mills. It's known by both names, but yeah. It didn't really help that we got out late to begin with, but yeah, we'll be getting to the casino about 13 to 15 minutes late. So what used to be a 30-minute layover turns into 15. Again, there was a lot of padding throughout the entire day today, so basically that was the saving grace of pretty much every transfer that I made. Everything still works, because I had like 30 minutes between most routes, so... and everything's fine still. Casinos are just wild, man. Freaking got the gigantic screens on the front of the building, and it's all like RGB lit and all fancy and crazy. I'm almost tempted to say it's obscene. Man, freaking big screens. That's wild. I've never been here before. Oh, there. Okay. Very curious decision to let us off over there rather than at the actual bus shelter here. But yeah, I'm catching the last bus of the night, which I assume, well, I need to check if it's running or not. But if it's running, I'm going to get the 150 to Plymouth Meeting Mall, which is also being shut down if Septa doesn't get money. Now, the 150 is like a super express bus. There's only like 6 stops on the whole thing. It just kind of makes a couple stops around here and then just like goes direct to Plymouth Meeting Mall. I have no idea why this route exists, honestly. Like, who's making that trip? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it makes sense somehow. I wonder if this bus that just pulled in is going to become the 150. I think they're getting the bus switched on, which is good. Pretty much right on time. $150, yeah. I find it interesting that the driver did not pull up to the bus shelter. In fact, none of them have so far. Why is the bus shelter there if the driver's not going to pull up to the bus shelter? But, you know, whatever. I would say that, you know, apart from having to reorganize the 47M and missing out on the 31, we had a very successful trip. I should note again that 150 is another one of those really low frequency buses. It kind of runs asymmetrically, and it only runs a handful of times per day. I mean, there are way less frequent routes. Like earlier today, the 62 is much less frequent than this is. But even so, this is not a frequent route at all. Only makes a few trips. So, you know, I had to carefully time out this itinerary to make sure that I caught one of them. Alright, we are just moments away from being home. Where it's very possible that the quickest way home is going to be a very tight bus connection. So I'm going to kind of concentrate on making that if we do get in soon enough. I have other options, but I think the fastest way to get home might really just be a 2-minute connection, so we'll see what happens. There's a bunch of people standing here, and they seem to be waiting for the 27, which is the one that I was going to wait for. So it's possible it's just not here yet? I'm not sure. But anyway, here we are at Plymouth Meeting Mall. I'm not sure if the 27 is going to come or not, but 27 is not on the chopping block, but it would be my fastest route home from here, so I was hoping to get it. Oh, there comes 27. Yay, we made it.
4. $8 instrument is required. Service 2. Rod and Carpenter.
Well, that worked out swimmingly. So yeah, this is going to take me back to Center City, 1-seat ride to City Hall. There I'm going to transfer to the L, or the MFL, whatever you want to call it. I like to call it the L, but I don't know if everybody uses the new terminology yet. Some people hate it. But anyways, that's what I'm going to do. That's how I'm going to get back. But yeah, I think I'll just do the outro now, rather than filming all of that. It's been a long day. I've had more exhausting days than this. Today was pretty light, actually, and Septa buses are usually pretty nice, and the air conditioning works and everything, so yeah, overall it was good. We rode most of the routes that I wanted to ride. We missed the 31, but that's okay. A bunch of routes that are on the chopping block should Septa not get an infusion of cash in this year's budget. So definitely, you know, I'm going to try to get this video out fast, and hopefully there's still enough time to do something about it. You know, contact your representatives if you live in a district with, you know, a Republican who you think might be amenable to funding Septa. Definitely make sure that you reach out and try to really agitate for this funding. We're over $200 million short in this budget, and the cuts are going to be completely devastating if they end up having to go through. So yeah, they only have until the end of the month to do it. They have to pass a balanced budget by the end of June, and at that point it will be set in motion, and it's going to be hard to undo it. So yeah, definitely let's try to get this done. Let's get Septa funded. Hope this bus odyssey was interesting or entertaining. The whole point was to just kind of show off what we're going to lose. And yeah, hope you enjoyed watching. Let's get Septa funded. See you next time.